Hi, how you doing? Justin here. Today we are checking out Jessie's Girl by Rick Springfield, who, as well as being a fantastic singer and songwriter, is a very handy guitar player, and there are some lovely parts in this song. I'm going to show you kind of a power chordsy version, but it appears from watching some live videos that he mixes up power chords and open chords as well, so I'll give you a little look at the way he might do it as well, and I'm not sure. It sounds kind of like power chords to me on the record, but I'm never really sure which one is going on. There's a few complicated things going on in the arrangement as well, where he's kind of doubling up some parts. The bridge is interesting as well. It's kind of keyboard driven, but I'm going to show you a way to do it on the guitar as well. But remember, with these kind of songs, you've got to be listening to the original recording as well, because I'm going to give you the puzzle pieces, but it's up to you to put it together by listening to the original recording. So let's get to a close-up and check out how to play it. Okay, that's what I'm referring to as riff number 1. Now I'm just using power chords here, using my first finger on the root note and the fourth finger, but you might prefer to use your first finger and your third finger, and if you're used to doing power chords with 3 fingers, you might prefer to do it that way as well, using 3 notes for your power chords instead of just 2. It's really up to you. Whichever way you decide to play them, the chords that you're going to be playing are going to be D, which is the root note with the 5th fret on the 5th string, to an A power chord, which is going to have the 5th fret on the 6th string, to a B, which is 2 frets higher, to a G down on the 3rd fret, still on the 6th string, back to A, and then back to D. I'm going to talk about the rhythm in a second, but the chord sequence first of all: D, A, B, G, A, D. And again, D, A, B, G, A, D. Okay, now the rhythm is really important for this. I would recommend starting off with a bit of palm mute on your pick and hand, so just lightly touching the strings there at the bridge to get a little bit of that kind of palm mute effect going on. Not too much, because you'll just get clicks, but find your way back. Okay, and it's really important that you get the rhythm right. And it's starting on the and after 4, so you'd have this 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and... Okay, a little slower still. 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 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 1, and 2, and 3, and... Okay, really important that you get that count right. Sometimes you don't have to count, you know, if you just listen to the original recording, you can probably hear the rhythm, and it's always better to learn by listening than learning by counting. But a lot of people struggle with this kind of riff, so do try and keep that in mind, the count there at full speed. 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 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 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and... Okay, now what you might like to do is to start taking that palm mute off a little bit for the second verse, just to give a little bit more body. But just there before the G, I think putting a little mute on there just to silence the things, silence the strings, sounds a little better. So mute, mute, mute. So I'd like to mention here as well the way that Rick seems to play it live, which is using an open D power chord instead of here. It's exactly the same notes. It's like a regular D chord but without the second finger and not playing the thinner string. To a little A power chord, again just using the first finger bar rather than you know, that kind of A. To a B power chord, to G, back to A here, to D. Sometimes I've definitely seen him doing this. So he's using power chords for the second half of it. He seems to mix it up a bit, you know, which is a sign of a clever guitar player if he can be doing open chords and mixing up which particular position he's doing, as well as singing and performing in front of a live audience. You know, that's pretty clever. So your options really are all power chords, or a mixture of open, D and A with some power chords as well. Any of those things are going to work great. There's some really nice guitar going on in the chorus as well, and to my ears it sounds like he's playing an open A chord and then to a D with an A bass. Very common kind of a Stones move here. He's playing a regular A but using the first finger bar and then adding second finger in the 3rd fret of the 2nd string and 3rd finger in the 4th fret of the 4th string. Okay, it's kind of like it's a D chord using a C shape is what it is, but then with the open A. Also used in All Right Now by Free, you might be familiar with it. There's quite a few songs use this idea, but it sounds lovely in this particular tune to go A. So A, D, D, D. Okay, that's the rhythm. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4. Okay, and this is just an A power chord to a B power chord. It is again possible that you can go from using open A to B. Okay, it's a lot harder I think than just having that one shape that you can move up and down, but again up to you. So we've got A, D, 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 A, B, B, A, B, A, A, D, 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 A, B, A, B, A, either one. Rhythm really important here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4. Really notice as well that I'm using the outside part of my pick and hand there to mute the strings. 1 and mute, strum, mute, strum, mute. Then we got the power chords. Down, down, mute, down, mute, down, mute. A lovely little take. So it does that first riff there twice. Okay, and that's going G, A, D, B, 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 A. Rhythm important again. G, G, A, D, D, B, 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 A. Count is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Bit weird. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. It's the B to the A that's a little bit unusual, but it sounds really, really good. Again, one more time with the count nice and slow. 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Full speed for the whole chorus. 2, 3, 4. So one part of the puzzle that you might need a little bit of help figuring out is after the second chorus, it repeats this little line. Okay, so it's still part of that second riff, but that part is repeated 3 times before the B. Okay, there's a really interesting thing going on in the link as well. It sounds on the original recording like guitar's just playing G. But there's another keyboard line doing this little. Now this is pretty tricky, so this is not for beginners. Beginners or even intermediate guitar players, you just want to be playing a G power chord. But more advanced people will want to do something a bit clever. I'm playing the bass note there with my thumb. And then I'm playing this little dyad here. 2nd finger, 4th fret of the 3rd string, 3rd finger, 5th fret of the 4th string. Then I'm playing a little D, which is 3rd finger in the 4th fret of the 4th string, 1st finger in the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and 2nd finger in the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. Okay, just like we used in that second chord there in the riff. And then to an A. But meanwhile, I'm holding that G note all the time, so we get this. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and. Okay, so I'm trying to keep the pumping bass there and just pushing through for the rest of the chord. It's a little bit tricky, even for me, to keep that bass note consistent and get the chords right. But that's a good way of kind of copying up the synth part as well as the guitar. That link riff stays for all of the bridge, but then there's another little section that gets us back into the guitar solo, which is essentially an F sharp, a B, and F sharp G power chords. I think it's played slightly differently, I'll show you that as well, but a nice kind of way around having to learn too much new stuff. F sharp B, 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 F sharp G sharp, F sharp G sharp, F sharp. Similar rhythm to what we've used before. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Sounds a bit to me like on the original recording he's going F sharp B. Using a little kind of F sharp triad here, 4th fret, 3rd fret, 2nd fret. It's just, middle part of that F sharp bar chord, and then folding the 3rd finger down, which I think is kind of giving us a G sharp minor-y kind of a sound. I think that's what's happening, not positive. Have to ask Tim Pierce, who actually played with Rick Springfield and is another YouTube guitar instructor, superb guitar player, actually all round. I hope that he does a lesson on this one day, but this will have to do for you in the meantime. So after that link, it goes back into that G, A, D, B, A. And then there's a guitar solo, which we're not covering in this lesson, but superb guitar solo, definitely worth checking out if you want to get your transcribing ears on. And then we're back into the choruses and we're done. I really hope you've enjoyed this lesson today. Please subscribe to my channel if you like what I do, and I'll see you for plenty more very soon. You take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.